everybody. We are happy this week to talk shit and talk sports. My name is Adam Dickens. Trey, what is going on, man?
Glad the week is over. Glad it's the weekend. Glad NBA is freaking back, baby. I know everybody else is too.
Fuck it. So before we get into some real topics, I have one question, right? What do we think Dwight Howard's body count was when he was Asian like assholes when he was playing in China, playing basketball in China? What do we think? Over or
Dude,
under 10?
definitely over, hands down.
I mean, I don't blame him. I like fortune cookies too. You know what I'm saying? I love getting some fortune cookies when I go get my Chinese food. You know what I'm saying? Uh, spring rolls taste fucking good too. You know what I'm saying? But
10 minutes.
hey, right? I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it, bro. No other place can you get your food exactly in like 10 minutes. Like you can't even get food from like McDonald's in 10 minutes now. But you go to the down the street Chinese spot connected to Food Line, guaranteed 10 minutes on the dot. Probably 8 minutes to be honest. They beat it every time. I'm gonna get my food in 10 minutes or less.
Chicken wing pork fry right, 10 minutes.
Next time I call, I'm gonna ask for the Dwight Howard special combo with Jennifer Toast. You got a fly problem, cuz?
Yes, there's a fucking gnat somewhere in there that's bothering me because it's very clear on the camera.
Oh god. All right, anyways, cue the intro, guys. Woo! If you are watching this week's episode, thank you guys for joining in. More will come in as this episode goes on, so please stay. We appreciate you. Make sure you give your comments and opinions. Shout out to Signers Wave for their wonderful intro song. We are chugging along. That's a great music collective out of Charlotte. But let's go ahead and get into some of this good stuff. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get into the first one.
Oh, what the heck?
We're hitting it both at the same time, man. Don't feel bad. It's all right.
I'm like, huh?
I gotta trust you and let you do your thing because I'll be on my shit. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. Dame Lillard had a made. Oh, first off, I'm just glad to be talking about NBA topics, like you said earlier, man. This is what it's about. Dame Lillard came out shooting. That boy was on damn NBA fucking fire with some of the shots he had going on. Amazing debut with the Milwaukee Bucks and Greek the Freak. 39 points, man. Just loaded up the stat sheet. I believe 14 points in the fourth quarter. Is this what we expect the rest of the season for him in the Bucks to look like? Winning games and putting up buckets for Dame Lillard for the rest of the season, or not as much?
Before we get to that, I'm going to say timeout. If you haven't already, Meek Mill, Rick Ross, Shaquille O'Neal, and Dame Dollar has a song out. Please check that out on Spotify. Dame Dollar did his thing on that the same way he did his thing on this court yesterday.
Is it the Kobe and Shaq joint?
Yes.
They did a remix. I'm guessing.
Yes. Fire.
I might check it out.
Dame did his thing on that. But to answer the question, I honestly I do believe it. I believe this is something to look forward to for the rest of the season. I think they are expected to get 60 wins hands down. I think again now they have options. Like, to be honest, watching that game, their third scorer was nowhere to be found, and it still was exciting. It still was fun to watch, and I don't even think that was their best offense. It was only their first game together, and Chris Middleton was nowhere to be found. But they still happened to win this game. They still happened to close out, which is what Giannis complained about that he didn't feel like he had. And now he has it. So when they are able to click all together, man, it's going to be a long season for everybody else. But 60 wins, hands down. Hands down.
I'm going to go off of what you said. I think what they do, granted, this is after a game or two. What they do so well is that pick and roll, and we knew it was going to be fire. But like Dame being able to shoot from so far out, and Giannis being able to do his inside everything he does, That pick and roll is just a perfect complementary to what they do best. And I think it frees up so much room. And I actually think they could include Chris Middleton into it with some of his mid-range stuff if they really try hard, kind of like Chris Bosh, pretty much essentially with the Heat. If they can really the perfected version of that is Chris Middleton going off in that mid-range for the Milwaukee Bucks, in my opinion.
Yeah, they have options, and like you said, with the spot up shooting, you got Brook. You still got Jay Crowder. They have options. They have a lot of options on that team with that pick and roll that's going to make them deadly. And I think again, the more fluid they get with playing with each other, they're going to be able to expand upon that, and they're going to be dangerous moving forward. So definitely, again, I say 60. How many wins do you think they got?
I'm right there with you. I don't. I want to push it more, but I don't have the balls to really call it like that. To be honest with you, I would like it. Like I think that 65 range. But
Okay.
again, this is the first season. But if they had 65 wins, I wouldn't be surprised. I think something else to me that is super impressive is Giannis. What it seems like, and Dame kind of talked about this too, is Milwaukee is letting Dame call the shots. Like when you gotta absolutely go out and get a bucket, it's not on Greek the Freak now. It's not on Giannis. It's on Dame orchestrating the offense. And I think that to me that makes a lot of sense because that's not the strong point of Giannis. And we saw that in the playoffs last year where he's not the play caller like that. He's just not. And Dame can play that perfected point guard, and I think it helps a lot because his IQ, Dame Lillard's IQ, is so high, in my opinion.
No, that's valid. That's valid. The fact that you mentioned that is it's a crucial point for them moving forward because, like you said, just seeing Giannis have so many one-on-ones yesterday, especially in the clutch, it was like every other play was an and one for him because he's bulldozing his way to the cup, and it's like. Again, if you double team him, then you're gonna leave somebody at the 3-point line open, and most likely, Dame gonna shoot it. He said if he get to his spots, he's pulling it every time. Giannis gave him the green light, as he should, and he has the green light. So I just think now you have more one-on-one matchups, and it's gonna be East season for both of them moving forward, man, for real.
Well, I mean, at that picker, the reason why that pick and roll is so good is because okay, are you going to choose to go over or under the pick and roll? Or okay, let's just say you crash the point of attack and you go right at Dame. You're not gonna let Giannis just be free at the rim or in the post. So, and then let's just say you go under. Okay, well, we know Dame can shoot it. Let's be honest, it's crazy. Like, there's nothing you can do to stop that. Absolutely nothing to do to stop that. But man, that's just the first NBA topic. I'm super excited. That's got my blood pumping. I ain't gonna lie to you. Next up is Anthony Davis. Is he hurting the Lakers? He ended up in the opening game. Granted, it's the opening game, so I give that to him. Had 0 points in the second half. He had a really good first half, but pretty much came out and gave a big donut in that second half of that game. Is he hurting them? It's so many other questions I want to ask. I'm just not sure exactly how to phrase it. And I don't want to get too into it because we are just starting the season out. But what do you think? Is he hurting the Lakers?
It's I'm so stuck in between this with my answer and my response because of the simple fact I feel like LeBron answered it perfectly yesterday after the game with the Suns in regards to like does AD even really give does he even care? And he doesn't. Like, let's be real, he does not care. He doesn't know what necessarily is happening, what's being discussed on social media and all that. He's gonna do him based off how he feels that game regardless. But to answer the question about is he hurting them? I mean, the Lakers go as far as Anthony Davis takes them. As everybody knows, he is the main orchestrator for this team. It's not necessarily it is LeBron's team, but realistically, it's AD's team. AD as far as AD goes, that's where the Lakers pretty much are taken. If AD is playing as he should, the Lakers can go to the Western Conference Finals every year as they are expected to be. Do I think that's going to happen? No, I don't. Honestly, I don't. I don't think he's able to sustain that. Not necessarily the regular season. I don't care about the regular season, but through the playoffs on a consistent basis, I can't rely on him. I really can't. I don't know if you can, but I can't.
I agree with you. I will take it a step even further.
Okay.
The whole offseason, we saw the Lakers, specifically Anthony Davis, talk about how they had a game plan for the Nuggets and they were coming for it. And to come out and to lose to them in the first game is very disappointing, even if it is the first game. You put yourself in this situation because you was talking the shit and you couldn't back it up. If we're being just transparent and clear about that. Also think that the inconsistency is the biggest topic of this because we had the same conversation when it came to the Western Conference Finals last year. He would come out and put up, a crazy, 22 and 12 or hell, sometimes even 30 points and 15 and just dominate. And then the next game he'd come out and he'd be like 14 points and like 5 rebounds. And it's just like it was super inconsistent game to game. And it seems like when the pressure is really on, like when he really has to come up and make a statement, and when he's forced in that position, like not when he's just free playing, he struggles at being consistent. And that's what the Lakers need because you do have a older LeBron James, which we'll get to in the next topic. But like you have to have that. And I'm gonna be honest, AD, based on his performances from last year and this year, just seem like he's a B tier superstar. He doesn't seem in the upper tier with Giannis or these other guys. And now we can have this conversation, a different way. But I don't like it, man. I just think he's B tier superstar. He's not up in that A class.
So for another question, I'm a piggyback. Do you think he deserved that 3-year 186 extension?
I think for the Lakers, I think he does. Like I like the money is kind of irrelevant to me because I say that because like you can have B tiers in this world get paid the super extension money. That's what it is. They get the super max deals. So it doesn't matter to me. Like as long as you're B tier and up and you get the money, cool. If you're under that, obviously you don't deserve the money. But he does deserve it. Just because he is talented. He used to be young. Now he's a super vet. But the fact is, he is in that B tier class. I don't think that has any connection with the money. That's what I'm saying. What about you?
Absolutely not. He's getting his extension is the same as Giannis. And we all know Giannis could have got more money if he would have waited, but because he was just being humble and being himself in the current situation with the team, he was just like, I'm going to take this. But he's making exactly the same extension as Giannis. And you're not going to sit there and say, and on this green earth, that Giannis and Anthony Davis should be making the same amount of money. There's no freaking way. If you say that, you are delusional and you need help. And you need to go fucking see a therapist because there's no way that extension should be the same. No way.
Well, I guess I need to make a call to my therapist because you're absolutely wrong on this. Now, if the salary cap didn't exist, then you are absolutely right. But the salary cap does exist. And so you're forced to pay that type of talent. Now, do I think he's 100% worth that? If the salary cap didn't exist, no, he shouldn't get paid as much as Giannis. But he does at the end of the day. And on top of that, this is the bigger issue is name another team that wouldn't have paid him like the Lakers did. There's no other team that wouldn't be like, oh, we're not going to pay AD. They are going to pay just based on the level of that B tier superstar. They just want the talent, so they're going to pay that. It to me has nothing to do with how good he actually is as far as again the correlation pay. It's not that it's salary cap. That's all it is, man. I know what you mean though. I know what you mean.
That's
It's
valid.
just not.
I respect that.
It's not. That's what sports is all salary cap now. It's not like the old Yankees where you could just throw fucking billions of dollars at every good player out there and just have them on your team. You know what I mean?
I respect that. I just again, like you said, you put it in perspective a little bit by saying, would any other team do that? Yes, because you don't have him. So of course you're going to throw the bank at him because you don't have him. But then when he gets on your team and he's not playing the full 82 games, then he's not being consistent over the 82 games. You're going to realize that you overpaid for this person. And again, even if Giannis would have waited till after this season to do the extension, he would have got more money. So I get that. but again, it also, I don't want to minimize, even though it's not the topic, I don't want to minimize that Giannis could have got more money, but because of his personality, his character, he took what the team was giving him so that the team could be consistent for the next 3 to 4 years. But I get that Anthony
So,
Davis took what the Lakers gave him because that's what was offered. Obviously, you'd
what?
be stupid not to take that.
Well, essentially, this is what you're saying, right? What you're saying is he's hurting them. Back to the question, two different ways. He's hurting them on an inconsistency standpoint, and he's hurting them because he's not playing
Worth
like he's getting paid when it
100%.
comes to clutch time and when it comes to really what it really means when you're going against another super big or championship level big such as Jokic, which he got embarrassed last year.
Yeah,
So I
not
I, I think
fuck
that's what
last
you're
year.
saying.
Fuck last year. Did you see the get, bro? AD was having his way with AD. Jokic was having his way with him. He was doing the
Yeah.
elbows, doing like the slow little spins. AD, I mean, don't get me wrong. A couple times AD did get his block off, but majority of the time it was Joker having his way with him. Like he couldn't do anything about it. The dude had a triple double, and I don't even think he broke a sweat. Honestly, I don't think he broke a sweat.
I mean, it just seems like Jokic just hopped off the horse and just came into the stadium and just and it was great. Another triple double. Like it's almost like the Lakers didn't even work on a true, like they talked about a game plan, but like it's like they
I'm gonna get this motherfucker.
I'm
It's bothering the
sorry.
shit out of me. I'm gonna
I'm
get this
sorry. That
motherfucker.
is fucking hilarious.
You
I
see it,
thought you're
right?
like
I'm not crazy.
I
I'm
no,
not
I thought you
crazy.
were telling me I'm right because all I'm hearing is a I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking right. Yeah, you're right. Uh it's almost like the Lakers didn't even work up a game plan. But let's keep it moving with that Lakers talk because we have much more to talk about. Trey, can the Lakers win a championship with this big money conversations right now? Can the Lakers win a championship with LeBron, who they've came out and according to his trainer have encouraged the Lakers to put him on a 30-minute restriction? What are we thinking about that, man?
Think that this isn't for the long run. This isn't something that I think is going to be um playoff basketball for the Lakers when they get there because they're going to make the playoffs. Um I don't think they're going to keep this restriction throughout the playoffs. I think this is just for the regular season till they get to the playoffs because they want to make sure LeBron is healthy enough and has the energy and has what he needs moving forward when they get to the playoffs to play more minutes. There's no way you're going to keep LeBron James on the 30-minute restrictions in the playoffs. That would be the stupidest thing in the world. At that point, you might as well just retire because at this point, you're just stat chasing. So, my opinion, can the Lakers win the championship with him on a 30-minute during the playoffs? Absolutely not. He needs to play more minutes. And I think this is setting them up for when they get to the playoffs, he is able to play more minutes. But again, regular season, their record is definitely going to take a dip when it comes to their record because of the simple fact he's not playing more minutes, even though he should. And I think you'll see that moving forward when they're freaking barely getting over 50 wins and they could be getting more because LeBron is only putting 38. I think it's 30, like I said, 30 minutes, 28 minutes, 30 minutes a game he's putting up. What about those games when you go into overtime? What are they going to do then? Are they going to go over that threshold, or are they going to keep it settle and stick to their game plan? But again, I think they're trying to keep him fresh for the playoffs. And I don't mind that because of how old he is and how much he means to the team. So I get it. But realistically, that is not going to win you a championship for the Lakers. And I think when they get to the playoffs, they will definitely change that. Your standpoint on that necessarily in regards to the minute restriction for the regular season and for the playoffs. What do you think?
I think that I do agree with you. They are prepping him for the playoffs, and it makes a lot of sense. I'm all there for you. I think that they don't necessarily need him for the regular season unless you really need that first seed. You really need that first seed because of what we just talked about and inconsistent Anthony Davis. Um, you need every advantage you can have. Uh, but again, that was shown that it's not all it's cracked up to be too. I think if you have the development of Austin Reeves to come to how they want him to be, which I don't think it's gonna work out like that. Like he might be good, but he's not going to become what they all are talking about him being at the end of the day. So I think that the restriction is nice until you really need him. And at 39 years old, or about to be 39, he is the best player on the court. Let's just be honest. He is the best player for the Lakers, and they absolutely need him. So unless they can make something happen, let's just say they play him heavy at the start of the game and you get a lead, or you kind of don't play him as much at the start of the game and play him more heavy towards the fourth quarter, might be the best option. I'm all for the 30 points if you can still equate it to wins. Work up some type of strategy. And that kind of comes to personnel options. You know, what lineups are you really running when he's not on the court, and really perfecting those lineups to equate to scoring points and playing decent defense, so you're not so dependent on LeBron. And that's what you have to do completely, in my opinion.
I respect that. Like I said, I think we're on the same page when it comes to their game plan and what they're trying to reserve him as much as possible. I like the fact that you said the whole Austin Reeves situation. Again, it is only their second game. I do think he'll get more comfortable and fluid with the offense moving forward. I do think he'll do more. I think he'll average between 15 to 22 points a game. And that's kind of the range I think they want him to be in. But again, I also think if he is to average on the high end of that adjustment, what that's going to look like in the playoffs when LeBron is playing damn near the whole game and him being ball dominant. And that's also for the other players too, because you do have a lot of pieces on that team. Watching them play, they have a lot of decent pieces that they have to mix in, gel, and figure stuff out for the regular season. But again, it's going to look different when the playoffs come, when it's only a 7-8 man rotation. Like, it's going to look different. So I think that's something that is something to keep your eye on. I definitely don't think they're going to get a number one or close to number one seed. I don't have them higher, closer than 4, honestly. That's just me. They are not getting higher than 4. No way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I think maybe if they sound like Dwight Howard, he really likes the 7 to 8 man rotations too, and he likes coming from behind is like his expertise.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
I was wondering where you was going with that. I was wondering where you was going with that.
All right, guys. I think before we go to the next topic, we're gonna hit up a little reminder for you guys. Check us out. I repeat, make sure you check us out on social media. But here's the little video we got for you guys. Hey, yo, Trey, I think we got a little reminder for the audience. Go ahead and let them know, man.
What's going on, you guys? We want to take this time for you guys to show support for Nuff Said Podcast on all social media platforms, being Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We just want to make sure we're providing the best entertainment for you guys. So go ahead and click that follow button, and we'll appreciate it.
All right, we are back. Trey, did that video like mess up on your screen too, or is it just me?
No, I just look fucking cockeyed. Like I'm like I have to redo that one, man. I don't know. That was not rocking with me.
That's because you rock out.
No, one fucking eye was like this and the other one was like that. Fuck you.
There's some funny stuff. I'm gonna let you lead the way on this. And I want you to give yours first because you're probably gonna steal mine anyway. You always steal my picks, but whatever.
Wow. So out of the first 2 days of NBA basketball, today's Friday. So out of the first 3 days of NBA basketball, NBA standout performance so far, or shocker for me personally, I would say would have to be the Kings going with Harrison Barnes. This sucker at halftime he was 5 for 5 from 3-point range. I can't remember the top of my head how many points he had, but it was like a crazy amount, and he only ended with like 33, I think it was. But he had like 27, 28 at halftime. And it was just like, okay. I don't think that he's going to sustain that, obviously. But I do think, again, moving forward for the Kings, I think they're here to stay. And I don't want to minimize that in any kind of way. So far, I would say the Kings Well, Harrison Barnes specifically because of that one performance. They do play today, obviously. I would say him on the NBA's opening night because opening night was on Tuesday and they played on Wednesday. I would say Harrison Barnes of the Kings would be my standout performance so far. What about you?
I'm gonna be honest. When we started this podcast, I did not expect a Harrison Barnes name to pop up on here. A reference. I didn't think we were gonna talk
He
about
balled. He
Harrison
balled
Barnes
out,
playing
man.
like the old Warriors.
He balled out, man. Yeah, I had to.
I do like that. A very you didn't steal mine because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't peep the Harrison Barnes performance. So shout out to you for picking that up. I think my performance. I have a two-parter, man. And
Of
this
course
is
you
gonna be
do.
Celtic. It's
Of
always a
course you
two-parter.
do.
Uh, it it's a Celtics heavy, pick for this one. Kristaps Porzingis, man, really
The
showed out.
unicorn.
My man just built like a damn one of those the little inflatable things at the car sales joint.
Inflatable two mans. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
there you go. He put up 30 points for the Celtics, really showing out, man. And he played how I expected. The high pace offense for the Boston Celtics really just showed out, and I think it really complimented him in transition, and really gave him some good couple of buckets. And I think this is a place that he can really not develop because he's already years in the league, but I think this can really give him a really good year to get him back to where he started. Um, Sticking with the Celtics too, Drew Holiday just
Mm.
locking down motherfuckers, bro. Like locking down the entire Knicks roster, and I think that's a wonderful thing. Like that's what he came down for. He came down for defense. He didn't come for the. He's not playing a two-parter. Like he a both way player this year with the Celtics, like he was um, for the Bucks. He's strictly defense and a few points when he can, but he really locked down Jalen Brunson. That's what you got to ask for, especially a Brunson who was on fire ending last year. So he came, did his part. Porzingis came, did his part, and I love to see those new additions already just started off like fire and really showing out. That's what I really loved about this week. Was there anybody else that really just stood out to you?
Yeah. Devin Booker. I think the way watching him play is like so it's entertaining, but it's so smooth. Like again, his game, I would say if you have to sit there and say who's the smoothest in the NBA right now, there's no way you can't say Paul George and then Devin Booker, or at least put them in the top three together. I don't care
I was
what the
gonna say
order is.
Paul George. I was gonna say Paul George when you
I,
said that. Go ahead.
I don't care what the order is, but you got to put them in top three, both of them. Like his game is so smooth and it's so efficient. Like the dude is a bucket, and I think moving forward, even with Bradley Beal there, he's still going to take his game to another level in a sense of him getting his and making sure the team is winning. Before he would just get his, and he wouldn't really care, or it wouldn't show on the win column necessarily what the team is doing because of his points. Now it's definitely because of him and what he's doing. And KD even recognizes that. KD knows, all right, I need to do more, I need to do less. And he's willing to take that role. Devin Booker, that game against who did they play first? My bad. The Lakers. No, not the Lakers.
Yep.
They played Lakers
No,
yesterday.
Lakers was the second game.
Yeah, they played the
76ers, I think. 70.
they
No.
played the Warriors first. The first game they played the Warriors.
I'm tripping. Yeah.
They played the Warriors first game. And he was getting his. And I was just like, yo, this dude is literally a walking bucket. And I think moving forward in all areas, MVP conversations, all of that, if he can stay healthy, because he did not play against the Lakers, if he can stay healthy, man, just keep an eye out on Devin Booker. I necessarily don't care for his game because it is a little bit boring in a way, but it's exciting because of how many different ways he can get a bucket. And I think that's something moving forward for his age, and he's entering the prime of his career. It's something to keep an eye on for real, for real. Like he's going to be a bucket moving forward, and I think it's just something that we as basketball fans keep an eye out on the Suns. They ain't no slouch, man. They ain't no slouch.
No, I do agree with you. I think that having Kevin Durant there obviously gives him a lot more room, um, and frees him up from so many double teams. So I do think it complements him. I think that the most interesting part is like KD's kind of like, man, hey, this is, we all knew it was Devin Booker's team, but like I thought KD was gonna come and like challenge him for that
Facts.
top score, and he he didn't. Is like he understands he's 1B to the to the 1A, and I think that Devin Booker is not shying away from it. He's kind of like, hey, this is me, this is my team, and I'm gonna run it. I'm gonna be the top scorer on this team, and KD, you're gonna be the decoy that opens me up. Essentially, is what he said.
You're saying it's crazy that you see the development for both players in the sense of moving forward with their careers, in the sense of Kevin Durant again being that 1B, even though every team he's ever been on, he's the number one option. And I mean, for God's sakes, he's the top 15 scorer all time with points. I see you understand why he is the number one option, but Devin Booker being the younger guy, this being his team from the get go, and being the bucket getter he is, Kevin Durant's like, dude, you do you, and I will get mine no matter what. And I think that is where they both click. And I'm curious to see how this works with Bradley Beal coming back from this injury, to see necessarily how that affects Devin Booker moving forward.
Shout out to Kevin Durant for passing Hakeem on the for the number 13 most point scored list for the NBA. That's a big time achievement that I feel like people aren't talking about as much. I feel like obviously if it was LeBron, it'd be the fucking conversation of the day. But obviously, KD's different than LeBron. But we'll get to we'll keep on marching forward from that though. Go
When
ahead,
he
Wes.
gets to 30,000, they'll be like, "Oh my God, he'll get the recognition that he deserves when he gets to 30." It's only 26, so they're not trying to overreact. But again, even that's an accomplishment. If you look at the names on that list, like, dude, that's crazy, man. Like, and he's still, you don't even think KD is at the end of his career. Like, if you say right now KD has 4 years left, you'd be like, you're crazy. He's still got like 7, 8 years left. He's like, you don't think about that. But yeah, that's a big kudos, man. That's a big kudos.
It's a crazy thing. Any thoughts on like the rookies? You had Wemby having his opener. You had Brandon and Charlotte having his opener. Um, and you had Scoot, who somewhat struggled a little bit.
I'm gonna let Scoot pass. I'm on the Scoot bandwagon, as everybody if you don't know, I am. I'm on the Scoot bandwagon, but I'm gonna give him a pass because if your first NBA career game was against Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and an annoying ass Russell Westbrook, I think you deserve a pass only on scoring less than 20 points your first NBA game. I think you deserve one. Come on now.
I agree. I do think it's something to keep our eyes out for because if you struggle too much early, people are gonna start saying some things and it's gonna get a little messy. But I'm right there with you. With the Wimby thing, I know we're gonna talk about Wimby plenty enough throughout this year. That's why I didn't put it as a topic. Because I already know like it's shit's gonna be Wimby season. I did think it was pretty interesting how they kind of used him. Like he wasn't the quote unquote number one option. There were some memes going around how the Spurs players didn't want to pass to him and how they kind of like I don't know. It seems like some hater LeBron stuff. Like you remember when LeBron went to the Cavs and at first like they were like we don't need uh a player straight out of high school. We're fine without him and stuff like that. It seems a little like just keep your eyes on that. Is some
Damn that,
some
bro. It's crazy.
some sparks are coming from the Spurs. That's all I'm saying. But we'll keep marching forward to the next topic. Go ahead, Trey. Take it.
So watching the 76ers play against the Bucks yesterday, no, the day before, it was yesterday. They played against the
Yep.
Bucks yesterday. Obviously they did lose, but seeing them compete obviously in a competitive way against the Bucks until the fourth quarter, the last 3 minutes, they looked like a good team without James Harden being present. What do you feel like James Harden what's his situation going to be like? Do you feel like they're going to end up just getting rid of him, or do you think they're going to end up taking him back, embracing him, and using him in this team to play better as a team? What do you think James Harden's situation will end up like?
Well, I think the most interesting like part of this is like he showed up for the airplane ride. He had showed up. He didn't show up 10 days for practice at all, right? Then he shows up to like the practice the day before the flight going to Milwaukee, I believe, for the road trip. And he shows up and they're like, hey man, like we don't know if you should be coming on this road trip, but they don't tell him not to come on the road trip. And then he shows up for the plane ride the next day and he gets stopped by personnel saying that you're not pretty much welcome on this flight. We want you to stay at the team facilities. Uh and then apparently James gets really mad. I've never heard of something like that before in my life. First off, Harden just picking and choosing when the fuck he wants to show up. And then the second thing is him getting sent home. I find that just ridiculous on both sides. And it seems like both sides are playing hardball. But to the question of will he end up back with the 76ers or will he end up with another team? I'm going to be honest. I think he will. I think he'll end up retiring, to be honest with you. I don't. If I'm the
Wow.
76, if I'm the 76ers, I don't want him. I don't want him at all. If we're being honest, I wouldn't. What, like this is my thing. What about him makes anybody want James Harden? Every place he goes, he blows it up like nuclear disaster type blow up. So I'm the 76ers. It's hard to come back from that situation you're having right now. And what team would want to trade for somebody like James Harden? Like we know what's going to happen at the end of this. You make us look bad. You say it's our fault. Da 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 da. Not saying the 76ers are guilt free, but I don't want to touch them. Why? I don't want to touch them at all.
It's crazy you say that because I did not think of the retirement part. I'll definitely give you that. I did not think that far. But in the sense of the team just looks like they don't need him. Like the team looks fluid. They look like they know who
Stacked.
they don't need him in any way. And him coming back, it would just hold the ball. It would just be for stats pretty much because he don't give a rat's ass about that team moving forward. He's not trying to win a championship with y'all. He'll just want to collect the paycheck and keep moving forward with whatever objectives and plans he has. But for the team, it's not best for them to keep him. If I was the 76ers, I would definitely trade him. And I don't even know if you're really going to get anything back because of all the antics that's been following him. Like you said, the last 3-4 years, everywhere he goes, he destroys the team. He messes up personnel. He has beef with somebody on the team over something the stupidest things. I don't think it's somebody you really want to be around. If you don't know, I think if I'm not mistaken, Kelly Oubre's current girlfriend. Oh my God, this happens
The
a lot.
lights.
The lights go out. It happens.
I didn't know you were
He
trying.
had a
I didn't know
recent
you were trying to
incident
set
with
the mood.
well, no. Kelly Oubre's current girlfriend is an ex-girlfriend of James Harden. Like this is the things you don't want around your team, like in general. So again, it's just, do you want this guy on your team? Is it benefit you in any kind of way? And I don't necessarily think him being present for the 76ers benefits them. I would trade him. I don't even care about the first round pick. If you happen to get that, sure, but get as much back in return as you could, but don't be greedy. It's James Harden. Wherever he goes, nobody's going to be desperate for him. And you're a better team without him. You literally almost beat the Bucks yesterday without him. I think if you're home, if you able to put stuff together moving forward with Maxey and Embiid, and obviously Tobias Harris playing somewhat better, and Oubre, I think you're able to put something together. You have a better fit with him, with that team, without James Harden. So personally, get rid of his ass. He's going to be toxic. You'll be good without him.
To take it another step, how does Maxey honestly fully develop into the player we want with James Harden on the court? Let's be honest.
Agreed.
And
Agreed.
if Dame went on for 39 without James Harden on the court, what do you think? That boy is about to put a 60 on him. 60
Agreed.
flats. 60 flats on him he was going to put up if James Harden was on the court. If we're being completely honest all the way. So I agree with you. You're better without him. I'm going to be honest. I don't see any advantage to having him on the team. What are you getting? A distributor that like is going to be overly dramatic and you're going to hear about him every year or so about not coming to practice, like not want to play with you, the money ain't right, something else is going on. Like I don't want to hear it anymore. Like if I'm a fan base and I hear my team sign James Harden, oh, I'm in fear. Like I don't even want to go
Not
to a
fair.
game. If I'm being honest, it's that crazy. Think about how many teams that James Harden in recent years has sabotaged because he didn't want to play, because he wasn't signed to the right money or whatever it was. Think about how many years he's took away from Kevin Durant being relevant in the playoffs because he didn't play.
Yeah,
But just keep it a
that's
buck. Keep it a
that's
buck.
valid. That's valid. That is valid. I think it's like that. Like I said, when you said retirement, I didn't think of that, but that is something that now that you mention it, I would definitely keep an eye on because that's I'm curious to see how that plays out. Definitely curious.
I mean, he's got the money, unless he's
Obviously, obviously,
like
yeah, on
he don't need to
strippers.
play. Just blowing in all the strippers. And then Dwight Howard is like behind the strip club doing gay stuff and behind the trash can. Like this, it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy stuff. I don't know. Let's steer away from James Harden in this NBA talk. Even though I'm super excited, it is back on the pod, and let's move to some of that NFL stuff we got going on, man. Kyler
you
Murray. Kyler Murray is supposedly cleared to come back to practice. As far as him coming back and playing in a game is still somewhat unclear, but he seems like he's moving in the right direction. And he seems like pretty soon he's going to be the starting quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. Do we think he'll make a difference? If he does make a difference, how big of a difference will it make for this Cardinals team?
I definitely think it makes a difference. I would be glad to see him back because of the different dynamics he adds to the game. Obviously, Joshua Dobbs is no Kyler Murray. Joshua Dobbs does like to run a lot, but Kyler Murray is efficient from the pocket. If you look at the stats, he's one of the most efficient quarterbacks when it comes to throwing, especially down the field on deep balls. So I think it's pause. I think it's something to just keep an eye out on when it comes to what he's able to do when he comes back and how healthy he is. I obviously think based off of how the Cardinals been playing this year, they've been playing with that grit. They've been playing like they have something to prove. I think that's what they've been missing for the last couple of years because of their situation, because of their coaching situation. And I think just adding Kyler Murray to that, you're going to see now is Kyler Murray either going to be part of that grit and that hard playing football, or if he's not. If he comes back and you feel like your team is playing worse, you get rid of him. You sit there and you use that pick on another quarterback and you draft for the future. If he comes back and he plays his heart out like this team has been playing, keeping up with competitive teams that they have no business competing with, I think you have to sit there and say, we are a better team with Kyler Murray than we are without him, and use that pick on something else. Use that pick on Marvin Harrison Jr. because you do need wideouts. I think that's something to keep an eye out on when it comes to the Cardinals moving forward. I think you can't overlook that. This is going to be his audition to pretty much prove this is my team. I'm still Kyler Murray. I'm still efficient. I'm still that guy for you guys. I'm still the future. Because right now they're in question. They're in question of their quarterback. They're in question of what they're going to look like moving forward. And if he does not fit what the team is trying to put together, you got to get rid of him. but I do think he makes a difference, and I'm excited to see necessarily what happens. Sad to say, as a Broncos fan, I would keep an eye on him moving forward too. Shit, fuck you talking about? I'll be glad to see him in a fucking Broncos jersey. So again, in general, I think it's curious to see what he looks like moving forward, to see if he ends up staying with them or where he goes next. I don't care where he goes next if he does go somewhere else, but what team will be willing to pull the trigger on him? A team like the Washington Commanders could go out for him. I think it's something just to keep an eye on. And I think that's exciting for me because I think he can still be elite. I don't think he's a mid-tier quarterback. He's not a B tier. I do think he's an elite quarterback, or he can show he could be elite depending on what he has around him. So moving forward, something to keep an eye on when it comes to Kyler Murray. I am excited to see him come back, and it's pretty much a tryout for the remainder of the season for him in regards to staying or no stay in Arizona specifically.
Imagine if you're a Broncos fan and you're going from one subpar 5 foot quarterback to another subpar 5 foot quarterback. Is fucking hilarious to me. I think when it comes to Kyler Murray, though, if let's talk about some real stuff, okay? Not the Broncos fake team. If we're talking about the Cardinals, this is the thing, right? Josh Dobbs is a great guy. You want to root for him, the type of guy you like in every locker room. Just not as your starter, if we're being honest. And he doesn't have has nearly as much talent as Kyler Murray. And so I would like to see how Kyler Murray comes out. Hopefully he can really take this team to a different level. The problem is we saw what Kyler Murray was like last, and it didn't look that good on the Cardinals team. If we're being honest, he couldn't get the team to respond as well as a Josh Dobbs to his leadership or lack thereof. And so I think with that being said, it's cool that Kyler Murray's back. I think him coming back gives you a definite answer of which direction is that team moving in next year. Are we keeping Kyler Murray? Are we going to try to move him? What are we going to do on that? And so I think he makes a difference from a talent perspective. And he obviously gives you more of a ceiling than he gives you a higher ceiling than Josh Dobbs, but Josh Dobbs gave you a higher floor, if that makes any sense. Because when Kyler Murray's bad, no one on that team wants to be around him when he's bad. And I think that's pretty clear based on what we saw last year, if we're being honest.
Damn, can people move on from their past, or they're gonna be the shit from a year ago gonna be thrown in their face every 5 seconds? Golly, give my man a chance.
You told me to do that with Deshaun Watson, and that's not turning out too well.
Oh my god! Last time I checked, I don't care what he's doing, they're winning. So kick rocks.
Without him on the fucking field,
I don't care. They're winning. Kick rocks.
You're such a whore, man. Such a whore. Go ahead. All right. Next topic. Football. We got it. The 49ers, man. We got the 40 motherfucking Niners versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Do we think this can be a bounce back game for the 49ers? They've lost, I believe, 2 in a row. For a little bit of context, Brock Purdy is going to be a game time decision to clear concussion protocol. So Sam Darnold, it's looking like he's going to be the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. A little scary on that standpoint. And Deebo Samuel is out again this week. So that being said,
oh, I'm so scared of the fucking Bengals. Ooh, Joe Burrow, fuck out of here. They're gonna be fine.
You should definitely be scared of the fucking Bengals.
Nobody worried about the worst team in that division right now. Get the fuck out of here. They're gonna be fine regardless. The 49ers are gonna bounce back. They're gonna win this game against the Bengals perfectly fine. And the Bengals are gonna continue to shit the bed like they've been doing all season and blaming injuries and everything else. Whatever. But I'm not worried about them in any kind of way or form at all.
It's really sad when the Bengals are such a threat such a threat. And man, shout out to my man Terrence. Shout out to my man Terrence talking about them Bengals and the Burrow Bengals, man, showing out. It's crazy when the the Bengals are such a threat that people have to grasp at straws of desperation for the 49ers. I'm gonna flip this question around, right? We talk about, is this the game for the 49ers to bounce back? This is the game for the Bengals to get back on track to where they need to be, especially against a roughed up 49ers who are handicapped at the moment. Okay, let's say Brock Purdy plays. Okay, well, I'll take a concussed, fucked up, you know, midget man with Jimmy Neutron head. I'll take that. Okay, versus the Bengals. I'll take okay, Sam Darnold wants to play. Okay, well, I didn't know the villain from The Incredibles was gonna come in and play the Bengals either. Like, let's be honest. So I think that this is the game for the Bengals to get right, uh, and really show out.
you,
Um,
yo,
no,
yo,
this
you
is
just
not.
called him. You just called him. What the fuck is his name?
What's it? What is it? What's his name? Terrence. Terrence.
Oh,
I know you know. Terrence,
oh my god.
tell me the name
The
of
villain from The
the
Incredibles.
villain from The Incredibles, because I know you know. Terrence knows his stuff when it comes to this. I need it. I need it.
Damn, what's his name? It's gonna make me mad. I gotta figure it out before him. Is
Come on, come. You gonna make me look it up, Terrence? Come on, help me out.
oh my
Come
god, it's
on,
gonna bother me. No, I'm gonna lose. No, no,
villain
no, no, no.
from Syndrome. Terrence Clutch Syndrome. Bro, I look like Syndrome. That's what he look like. Shout out to Sam Darnold, man. Yeah, it's not gonna turn out well for you versus Bengals this week. Um, Shout out to Terrence for helping us out on that because I forgot his name.
Damn it.
But yeah, th- this is gonna be uh, um yeah, this is gonna be the bounce back game for the Bengals, not the 49ers. I hate to say it. We can keep on moving through these topics though, because we hitting the time restraint, man.
Apparently, this is from my man Adam here. The game of the week that he wants to keep his eye out on is the Jags versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I don't knock him for that. I think it's a good game, especially because you got two teams on current win streaks, and playing good football recently on both sides of the ball. I assume they're in Pittsburgh. I don't know off the top of my head, but I assume they're in
No,
Pittsburgh.
they're in Jacksonville. Jacksonville.
Oh, they're in Jacksonville. So with that being said, who you got in this game? And the question, not necessarily who you got, but who is the X factor and or the determining factor for you in regards to this game on Sunday?
What this is game of the week, because the Jacksonville Jags are 5-2 and the Pittsburgh Steelers are 4-2. So as far as records, this is the big title
He had to
game.
justify, ladies and gentlemen. He had to
I'm
justify.
well, you were shit talking, so I had to bring some heat. So anyways, yes, you talked about these winning streaks that both these teams are on. I believe the Jags are on a 4-game winning streak, which is pretty big. And you got the Steelers who are on a 2-game winning streak. I've been debating this. I'm not gonna lie to you. I went and looked at the teams that the Jags beat. Not
Oh
that good of
boy.
teams.
Oh
If we're being
boy.
honest, they're not. Do you want me? Would you like me to go through them? Because I'll go through
No,
them.
I know
Guess
I know
what?
who they beat. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna
Put
go
the
through them.
stream. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The Saints suck. The Bills, they not looking too good right now. If we're being honest, the fucking
Mm-hmm.
Falcons trash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just went through that winning streak. So it's not too good. Let's be honest, not too good. I gave you 4. What are you talking about? The Saints
It's
trash.
uh-huh.
Colts trash.
Thank you.
Uh, the Bills are trash right now.
They're not
Falcons are
trash, but
trash.
okay.
They are.
No,
They're absolutely
okay.
trash.
Playoff contender,
And,
get over it.
and so that's all I need to know. Now, if you go to the Steelers, they played some more competition. Let's talk about the teams they beat on their street. They beat the Ravens, who we just got done talking about last week. Lamar MVP race. Okay. And the Rams, which is all right. They're not that great of a team. They're very mid tier.
They're
Okay.
like, yeah, they're like the middle. I get them the middle. I get them the middle.
So I will take the Steelers that also have been putting up a right bit good amount of points. Okay, fighting, and the defense has been fighting too. And so based on the competition of the teams that they've beat lately, I have to go with the Steelers. I think you're battle to me, battle tested is battle proven, and I will take that any day versus a whole bunch of wins versus bad
So I'm assuming
teams.
based off of that, Terrence is on your side with he said he forgot the Colts even still exist. I hear you with that. I hear you. I'm not minimizing that
Well,
in
we
any
don't
kind of
know.
way.
We don't know if Terrence is on my team. So I mean, on
No,
my
I mean
side,
I
not my
clearly
team.
with that sense, I get that. But and when there's a but, there's a way. But to back up the Jags and what they've been doing, if you know the Jags and how they play to their competition, which is not good football. I'm not going to sit there and say that's the best football. That is not playoff football, especially in the AFC. That's not what you want to do. But specifically, the Jags, they play their competition, and I think if you put them against a good team, they're going to play better. And when they play against a worse team, they sit there and I don't know what the fuck happens, but they play like they're fucking worse. They play like the worst team, but somehow they'll try to win the game. And that's what they do. And I don't want to dismiss that. I don't want to minimize that to any kind of way or form. But I do want to express the Jags they're a good team, let alone they I do think they're going to be buyers at the trade deadline. I think they're going to end up trading for some pass rush because that is their biggest need. I think the defensive ends and things like that, they're going to end up trading for. Prediction, I do think they're going to go get Montez Sweat from the Commanders. That's my prediction, or Chase Young. That's my prediction. But yeah, I definitely think moving forward, they're going to be a team that they played in a competition as they've shown in the past. And I definitely have them winning this game, especially if they're in Jacksonville. I have them winning this game over the gritty Steelers. I like the way the Steelers play. I think Kenny Pickett has been playing decent football and what the team needs him to do. He hasn't been doing too much. And Pickens has been balling, man. He has been balling. I can't minimize that at all. He has been balling. I'll give him that. He is a little hothead, but he's been fucking balling. Antonio Brown
Uh,
Jr. I'm calling him that. He's gonna be a hothead. He's going to be
I've
a
been said that.
goddamn.
I've been said
He's gonna
that.
be a fucking hothead.
I should have had it copyrighted. I might have ended the recording early, so we could be fucked on that. But that's besides the point. Yeah, no, I'm
It's
with you.
still going on my end, but go ahead.
No, we're streaming. I don't know
Oh, what
if
the
we're
recording part? You're
recording.
sure. You're good. You're good.
Either way, it's on YouTube, so I'm not worried about it. Yeah, I think that no, I'm with you. I think that they've just been somewhat inconsistent. So that's what we got. That's what. But I mean, both teams are being inconsistent. If we're being honest. But right now they're both hot, and I think that's also what makes this game of the week because you got two teams really coming in on high streaks. At the best times to go against each other. That's what you want. You want Muhammad Ali versus Tyson in the fucking primes if you could time travel. Like that's what you want. And so I'm guessing you're on Jags. Is that what you're doing?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Sunshine for the win. Absolutely.
I mean, you wouldn't be wrong. I think this is also the true test for the Jags to really see where they're at. So like I wouldn't be surprised if they win. I'm not trying to like sugarcoat it at all, but this is the game where you really see them against a good team and they win. This is it. This is absolutely positively it. Um, any last words on that?
No, not in regards to that. Like I said, I definitely got the Jags winning that. I'm gonna definitely keep on my multiple uh streaming platforms. I'm gonna keep one of those games up on that game. Um, but yeah, I'm ready to get out of here and watch some basketball for the night. Some games are definitely on right now. Some good games on. So if you aren't already, go ahead and put those games up and see what's going on NBA.
Absolutely. Drink a couple beers, drink some liquor if you can get to it. Before we head out, I have to play a commercial and another stream reminder, and then I'll let you guys go. But with that being said, it's been a pleasure, guys. Been rocking it. Please stay tuned and watch the reminders and the commercial. I know it's kind of whack, but keep supporting us. We love you guys. And again, thank you for all the support. Anything else, Trey, besides you burping?
Nah, I thought I did that to the side a little bit, but clearly that wasn't enough.
Shout out to Dwight Howard. Man, I hope you
leave that man alone. Leave him alone.
Guys, consensual sex is the best sex, okay? And not raping people. Okay. All right. I'm out of here, man. Stream reminder and then just a commercial. Cool.
Appreciate y'all.
Hey guys, before we continue with the rest of the episode, we want to let you know where you can find more of our content. Trey, go ahead and let them know, man.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel for full content. We go live on Mondays and Fridays on Kick and Twitch for your best live content.
Hey guys, I hate to interrupt the show that we got going on, but we got to take a break from talking sports and talk about Dreadsock. They are our wonderful sponsorship. Make sure you check their website out, www.dreadsock.com, and at Dreadsock on Instagram. If you have locks or protective hairstyle, make sure you check them out. Keep those locks lint free when you go to sleep at night and just when you're walking around the house. Make sure you tell them that Enough Said Sports Podcast sent you. For right now, we're going to send you to a 30-second commercial from them. Shout out to Dwight Howard, the Booty Bandit. We out. Bye.